Good morning, Radnor Middle School community. I would like to warmly welcome you to our virtual Memorial Day ceremony. I am privileged and I am humbled to open today's ceremony as we honor our military heroes and to remember their achievements, their courage, and their dedication to our nation, and most importantly, to say thank you for their sacrifices. Thinking of the heroes who join us today and those who are here only in spirit, a person cannot help but feel overwhelmed by the enormity of what we encounter. The service members we honor today came from all walks of life, but they share several fundamental qualities: courage, pride, determination, selflessness, dedication to duty, and integrity. All the qualities needed to serve a cause larger than oneself. Each year becomes more pivotal to deliver the message about the importance of this upcoming holiday known as Memorial Day. This morning, our guests will speak and share both information about the holiday and personal feelings on why it is important to them. This is a ceremony. It is a ceremony in which reflection is the best way to properly pay tribute to the men and women who sacrificed their lives for all of us, defending freedom around the world and keeping those who wish us harm at bay. On behalf of the Radnor Middle School community, I am proud to say that today we gather together in the midst of patriots and the family and friends of those who have proudly and nobly served our country. Each and every morning, we stand proud and we stand tall as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, I would ask that you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the singing of our national anthem from our Radnor Middle School chorus. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare
Hello, I'm Lynn Sampson, and I am a chaplain for the Radnor Police Department, Mainline Health, and the Red Cross. Thank you for inviting me to do this invocation. God of hope, bring your light, grace, mercy, and comfort to all during these difficult times. As we pause to honor and celebrate the sacrifice of so many for the liberties we now enjoy, let us also celebrate the soldiers of this time, the doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers who sustain us when our health fails, those who selflessly are putting themselves in harm's way in much the same way as soldiers of the past fought and died for the values of love, independence, and freedom. Let us remember the service and sacrifice of our many military members, past, present, and future, many of whom gave the ultimate sacrifice. Ask your parents, their parents' stories. We are grateful for the freedom of their sacrifice every day. May they inspire us in this time of crisis to help in our own small way, to be the light, the healer, the helper that is part of the community of support that will see us through to a better tomorrow. We are called to be part of this continuing circle, which started with generations of earlier war veterans. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen.
Good morning. My name is Gina Visor, and I'm the Radnor Middle School PTO Veterans and Memorial Day co-chair. It is an honor and privilege to welcome and introduce today's guest speaker, Michael Brown. Michael served for 4 years on active duty in the United States Army and was deployed to Bosnia with the 1st Armored Division. After leaving the military, he went to college at Northern Michigan University. After graduating, he worked for then Congressman-elect Patrick Murphy, the first Iraqi war veteran ever elected to Congress. After his time working for Patrick, Michael then got a job working for the city of Philadelphia. He also led the Philadelphia Police Crisis Intervention Team training at the Police Academy. After this role, he was the Director of Veteran Services for Montgomery County Community College. Michael was recently awarded a Veterans of Influence Award by the Philadelphia Business Journal and is now the Director of the Office of Veterans and Military Service Members at Villanova University. Michael holds a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling and is an active member of the Greater Philadelphia Veterans Network. He is married and has 2 boys, ages 7 and 4, living in the Lafayette Hill area. Please welcome Michael Brown.
Hello, my name is Mike Brown, and I am the Director of the Office of Veterans and Military Service Members for Villanova University. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, and I wish I was, actually on location or at location with you all as we honor veterans across this country for Memorial Day services happening soon. Memorial Day is a very solemn day for many veterans as they remember those that they served with, that they knew, and it's also very solemn to family members across this country as they grieve and remember loved ones that were lost on battlefields, sometimes across the world. And some of the last times they saw them were when they were 18, 19 years old, and they never saw them again. So it can be a very solemn and trying time for families across this country. But for us here today, we're going to really look at and think about some veterans who were local to you. And at Villanova University, that's something that my office does, is we look at veterans who went to Villanova University and who paid the ultimate sacrifice on battlefields or in the service of their country. And we find ways to honor them. And one of the things that we have found is that many veterans who went to Villanova were there in World War II and were sent away or were drafted or volunteered. And then the same thing happened in Vietnam. And one of those veterans is someone who went to Radnor Township School District, and specifically Radnor Township High School, and graduated on a full ride basketball scholarship to Villanova University. His name was Lawrence Marshall. And Lawrence was a star basketball player for Radnor High School and really had the world in front of him. He could have done anything, and he accepted a full ride scholarship to Villanova University to be on the basketball team, which, as you know, is a very storied tradition and has so many players both in the NBA, but also just historically has been one of the best schools to produce college athletes. So Lawrence could have taken the easy way and stayed with that scholarship and played basketball, but instead he took the hard road and one that's less traveled. And what I mean by that is when we think about the Vietnam War, it wasn't the most popular war that this country has ever waged. Many people across this country were protesting in Washington, D.C., or in their local neighborhoods and towns and cities across America. But Lawrence was a real patriot, and he cared deeply about his country. And his time at Villanova was cut short because of his choice. He left in April of his freshman year at Villanova and decided to join the Army. And again, he could have easily done something much different. He could have taken his 4 years at Villanova, got a degree, and played basketball, and who knows what would have happened after that, as again, he was a really good player. And in looking at some of the memorials that have been written about Lawrence in the past, many of his friends and family members say that he really cared deeply about his community, about his country, and wanted to do something more than just play basketball, frankly. And so that's what he did. He enlisted and went off to basic training, which is what most folks do who join the military. It's something I did many years ago myself when I joined the Army. And he ended up becoming an infantryman and was assigned to the 101st Airborne Division, which is a very prestigious airborne, and in this case, it's an air assault. So many times what 101st Airborne troops are doing is fast roping or rappelling out of helicopters. Not always. There's other missions that they do and other things that they do, but the air assault team with the 101st Airborne is something that they're very well known for. And it's not the easiest unit to be assigned to and be a part of. So Lawrence, again, was a star on the basketball court and really took that athletic prowess and turned it into being a great infantryman. He was sent to Vietnam in 1967 and served there with the 101st Airborne Division. And unfortunately, on May 1st of 1968, his life came to an end. He was killed with indirect mortar fire near the, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, the Thuat Ten district in Vietnam. And it was, a tragic event for his family. He's one of 8 siblings. And so this was, a big shock to the family and to the community at large. And there were some articles written about him in the Philadelphia Inquirer. And I think one of the things today that we can look at is everyone knows who, I shouldn't say everyone, but many people know who Pat Tillman is. And Pat Tillman was a professional athlete who decided to join the Army and turned down a multi-million-dollar contract with the Arizona Cardinals playing football. And I think Lawrence Marshall did that basically as well. He turned down a full ride scholarship to serve his country, and in doing so paid the ultimate sacrifice. And that's something that as students, as professional athletes, whomever you are, whoever is watching this, for you students specifically, it's something that you can look up to and say, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? And for Lawrence, he wanted to make a difference. He wanted to serve his community. He wanted to serve his country. And it's something that can inspire you to make a big difference in your community and in your country. It doesn't mean that everyone goes off and who serves pays this ultimate sacrifice. But what it means is that you're willing to be a part of something larger than yourself. And that's what Lawrence really did. And when you think about that, when you think about service and sacrifice, it really comes down to doing something that's selfless, putting others above yourself. And that's what Lawrence really did. And I think that's something that you can hopefully try to model as you grow up and as you tackle the challenges of a post-COVID world. We honor folks who serve, whether you're a nurse, a doctor, it doesn't matter what you do, we honor that. And I think when you move forward in your life, if you want to be serving in the military, that's something that is not to be looked down upon. It's not something to be saying a last chance scenario or something that you're willing to do if all else fails. It can be something that you really strive to do, and you can make it a career. You can just serve for 4 or 5 years like I did and come out and use those experiences to springboard off into a different career. But I think and I hope that you take Lawrence's example and practice it in your own life. Do something bigger than yourself. Be a part of something that's larger than you, and give back to those in your community and in your country. And for that, your family, your friends, and your country will be forever grateful. So again, I wish I could be there in person with you today. It is something that I really like doing. I am very passionate about veterans and service, and placing an emphasis on those service members who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, like Lawrence. If there is a chance for you to want to know more about Lawrence and his service, Villanova, through the work of my office, has created a memorial map. So it's interactive in nature. And so that means is you don't have to be on campus to learn about Lawrence. You can do it from the comforts of your own home, or from your cell phone, or whatever you want to do. And that website is memorialmap.library.villanova.edu. And once you're there, you can search up at the top. It says there's like a 3-barred menu, and you click on that, and it takes you to Villanova Veterans. You go there, and you can scroll down and find Lawrence's name, and you can click on him, and what you will see with that is you'll see some pictures of him, and you'll learn about where he was born, what unit he was in, where he was killed. And there were some articles, like I said, in the Philadelphia Inquirer. We've included some of those articles, and we've also included where he is at on the Vietnam Memorial. He is on panel 53E on line 35 of the wall. Over 58,000 people died in the Vietnam War, and Lawrence is one of those. And he is a proud member of the Radnor Township School District, a fantastic basketball player who took those skill sets to Villanova and went on to join the Army and be a part of a fantastic unit and organization who did some great things throughout our history, World War II, Vietnam, and up into the current conflicts. So again, I hope you look to learn more about Lawrence and that service, but more importantly, I hope that you, whether you serve doing community service for a nonprofit organization, join the Peace Corps, join the military, become a hedge fund manager, whatever it is you want to do with your life, I hope that service maintains and becomes a part of what you do and who you are. And I hope that you all have a very wonderful day. Maybe next year I can actually be there in your presence and take some questions and talk more about Lawrence. But again, I hope you have a good day. And remember, it's Memorial Day weekend coming up soon. And I know people like to have a day off and like to grill out, but I hope that you can take a moment to remember people like Lawrence, people who've paid the ultimate sacrifice in the service to our country. And I hope, again, that you have a good day.
Ready? Ready? Aim. Fire. Ready? Aim. Fire. Ready? Aim. Fire. Ready? Stand. On.
It's Lynn Sampson again. Let us bow our heads. God, we thank you for your presence here with us during this time and in all the times ahead. Though the changes and chances of this world can scare and challenge us, we can trust that you are there with us. We can follow your path in love, knowing that by working together in community, we can make this world a better place as we walk through the time of COVID and come out stronger people. We realize how truly interconnected we are. It's what makes our life rich and full. And these connections have been maintained by all those in the military who sacrifice for us now and have in the past. Dear Lord, send us now into the world in peace to love and serve you with gladness and singleness of heart. Amen.
As we prepare to close this ceremony, I would like again to remind everyone what this upcoming weekend is all about. Memorial Day is a day of reverent observance, one day out of 365 to recognize and honor the ultimate sacrifice others have given in military service. Our virtual gathering this morning is just one small spark in the flame of pride that burns across the country today and every day. It is one way that we, as a RMS nation, honor those who have given their hearts, souls, and bodies so that we can live in freedom. After hearing our speakers today, I am confident that you are inspired to honor the sacrifices that make us free. More than ever, we must remain committed and steadfast to honoring those who served our country. Please remember that as we speak, there are men and women around the world spending months or even years away from their families. Men and women who rose to the nation's call because they wanted to protect a nation which has given them and us so much. Please do not let anything cloud your lens as to the one day that pays tribute to them, Memorial Day. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention. Take care.